Madam Speaker, as I conclude, good governance is an important cross-cutting theme for the implementation of our sustainable island state. And I deliberately slow down on that. Good governance, Madam Speaker, can no longer be put on the back shelf. Good governance is essential for us to achieve our sustainable island state. We were promised good governance, Madam Speaker, and everybody knows by now what we got. And therefore, we are committed to delivering good governance, anti-corruption laws, integrity in public life, and so forth, so that we can have more transparency, so that we can create a system of fairness and equity, and that would allow all people the opportunity to really pursue their dreams and fulfill their aspirations. Madam Speaker, it is important that good governance is at the foundation of all of this, because I would dare say that sometimes implementing good governance takes a lot of courage. It is not always those on the outside, but sometimes you have to look your most beloved in their eyes and say, there has to be a change. It is a courage sometimes to change from inside. And so that is why I'm asking all to join with us. I remembered when we passed the Code of Ethical Conduct for members in the Labour Party. We were scoffed at. People made joke of it. And I said that if we are serious about good governance, it must start at home. Must start at home. And when it starts at home, then you can do it in the country. But if you are a political organization, and you don't have good governance passed in your organization, how can I really believe that you will bring that to the country when you yourself don't practice it at home? Good governance is a benefit to all of us. The countries that do best are countries that strive to have good governance. And we like to point out other countries and say, oh yes, man, look at the country, look how they do, look how Singapore doing, look how Taiwan doing, look how this country doing. Look at Western Europe, look at Canada, look at their system. As if that is something that we cannot achieve here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We can achieve that too. And therefore, we should pursue it. And all of us should really be a part of it. Because I'm saying the amount of corrupt practices that we meet in the government, if that had continued, we would have no country. It's as if people participated in corruption and did not even know they were part of it. Because it had become the norm. You can't run a country on that. I mean, when you look at documents and you say, look, $20 million gone out and it didn't go to a procurement board. People are now stressing us for money. Say they had contracts. Where's the contract? Silent night. You ask them, where are the bids? No bidding. I said, do you know that we are not obligated to pay? I'm not talking about just small sums of money. I'm talking about large sums of money. When it comes to the land issue and the mess that has been created, those are things that happened, even in healthcare. Madam Speaker, if I stay here today and I speak about all these things, it's just that it was just straight through the system. That if you cast a net, so much people will be caught in the net and they'll ask, how am I caught in the net? Because they did not know that in many cases they were carrying out a corrupt practice. One person told me they were instructed to. And they would have been instructed to. Yes. Madam Speaker, it's sad, you know. It's sad. Almost everything had something attached to it. And therefore, I am saying, Madam Speaker, that we really need the good governance. Because I don't really want to go back there. That will drag us down too much. But if things are found and people have to be held responsible. But I know if we have the chance to put in the good governance and anti-corruption, at least some framework will be there to really protect our people and to protect our country. It is very critical. And therefore, I want to stress that we do that. That we do that. Madam Speaker, so that is why we are saying in order to really attain the sustainable island state, we definitely have to have good governance as its foundation. We are particularly interested in ensuring that the public sector apparatus is underpinned by the important principles of citizen participation. They must participate. We can't do this alone. The rule of law, which I've always spoke about. Without the rule of law, you cannot have a democracy. There must be transparency. There must be accountability, integrity, responsiveness, and the absence of corruption and wrongdoing. These are goals that we have to seek to achieve. We are not saying that man is perfect, but we are saying as far as possible, we have to get these things out of our system. And the other thing, I think I mentioned it before, again, is when we look at countries that have these things in place and we say all sort of lofty things about them. We say, look at that country, look at where they're being managed, look at this, look at that. Why can't we have that here in St. Kitts and Nevis, Madam Speaker? Why? This is the next step. This is what the founders of this nation envisage. This is what Robert Bratcher, His Excellency First National Hero, envisaged. This is what they thought about in building out a nation. And because they did such an excellent job, we have a good foundation that they have left for us, and a foundation on which we are built, and we can continue to build ourselves. So in this regard, plans are advancing for the tabling of the Integrity in Public Life Amendment Bill, an Anti-Corruption Bill, and the Freedom of Information Bill. Further, we also plan to continue with the important reforms related to the public procurement regime. Madam Speaker, we expect that these legislative interventions, once enacted, would set the stage for a new paradigm in St. Kitts and Nevis, one that is premised on the deterrent of corruption and the upholding of the rule of law. Madam Speaker, let me spend a little bit more time on this point. Because I remembered, and the Attorney General took me to where the offices for the integrity in public life. And I remembered when the first head of that had to use his own credit card to start operations, because he would not get any money from the government. And it shows, therefore, that there was no real political will to introduce this. If there were issues, they could have come back to the people and have a discussion on the issues, because we intend to discuss with the people before all of this is done. But I'm stressing it because it is important, Madam Speaker, that we advance in it. Already we have proven that this government intends to have an ambitious legislative agenda. In 4 short months, we have already had 2 sittings of the National Assembly, where the following pieces of legislation were enacted: the Public Health Amendment Act, Civil Aviation Amendment Act, Companies Amendment Act, Small Business Amendment Act, and the Domestic Violence Amendment Act. There's a lot of work going on in here, Madam Speaker. A lot of work. And we intend to keep working. If you look over here, we fit over here, you know. Fit over here. Even the veteran is in shape. I look on the other side, I think who I see today are fit. And the leader said yes. Madam Speaker, coming out of the recent 2023 estimates process, I am even more convinced that the development imperative of our country require us to pursue different approaches to the development of our country. Our people have already taken the first step by placing their government in the hands of a caring, trustworthy, and highly capable St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party team. The budget process has also caused me to reflect on the year 2022 as I look back with pride at the resilience of our people. Through many unforeseen circumstances, we have managed to maintain a sense of calm and made our individual and collective contributions to the stability of our country. Our economy is now on the rebound, which is evident in many sectors. Although we are not yet up to pre-pandemic levels, we have a real opportunity to continue to rebuild the main sectors of our economy and make a headway in new areas of economic activity. For that reason, I feel grateful, Madam Speaker. Gratefulness is important. It's mentioned in the Bible, and I'm sure the member from number 1 can give me a verse. And we are also optimistic about our future as a small, sustainable island state. Madam Speaker, our overarching strategy is clearly oriented towards creating a more sustainable path for the development of our twin island federation. We must overcome the hurdles of lost ground during the last 7 years by jumpstarting the economy and pursuing our goal of transforming St. Kitts and Nevis into a sustainable island state. It is fortuitous that with the combined efforts of our people working across our 2 islands, we are well poised, and I want to stress that. We have to work together across these 2 islands. The opportunities had by people in St. Kitts must also be had by the people of Nevis. What someone in St. Paul's can enjoy, somebody in Gingerland must also be able to enjoy. We must work together. And this government, this administration is committed to working with the Nevis Island administration to make sure that we have opportunities across the board wherever you are found in the Federation. That is why I'm happy with the discussions about having 1 grid, because we are 2 small islands. We can't do it alone. Big countries struggling, regions trying to come together. We are 68 square miles, and Nevis is 6, something like that. And I'm happy to hear Nevis is growing. And we have to work together. There are a number of opportunities where we can work together as one and work together really to bring prosperity to all of us. And we are open to that on this side. And I'm happy that they are open on the other side as well. And so we can really create a new day and a better way as far as our relations. Madam Speaker, this speaks well for the full rebound. As I was speaking, we are well poised to be among the top choices for international travelers. This speaks well for the full rebound of the tourism industry. Over the next 5 years, we will work together to improve resilience and sustainability of our federation. Dedicated focus will be placed on food and nutrition security, building climate resilience, resilience to economic shock, economic diversification, including exploring development of the green, blue, and orange economies, and think differently. Madam Speaker, on the orange economy, I'm speaking mainly about the creatives. And I want to say that we recently had a movie done in St. Kitts that was previewed, or I would say we saw it on Sunday. I wouldn't say it's the first screening, but we did see it on Sunday where we had with MSI. And I want to say that Nevis had activities such as this one as well. So again, opportunities for collaboration. One of the things that people love when they come to St. Kitts is that they got St. Kitts and Nevis. And one of the things they love when they go to Nevis is that they have St. Kitts and Nevis. And so this is an area where we see a lot of collaboration could be had for our people as well. And just to continue and think differently, a development of the green, blue, and orange economies. And think differently and creatively to aid in the achievement of economic growth beyond the pre-pandemic years. Our plans will be powered by our people, as we will achieve very little without the hard work and determination of the men and women that ply their trade in the various sectors of the economy. Madam Speaker, the Bible speaks to it. By the sweat of the brow, you shall what? Eat bread. If you have a people who are not hardworking, they are already declining. They become more vulnerable, less resilient. We cannot create a country where our people are not hardworking. I remember when I was growing up, it was, I would say, pride to hit your chest and say, I'm a hardworking man. That's why I work so hard. I grew up in Upper Monkey where people felt pride in working hard. A man will come in a shop and say, man, give me 2 vitamins, their egg and something. Say, boy, I'm a hard-working man. Or woman. Can you imagine that? We once had that working hard was something good. How can you build a country that is resilient if the citizens are not thinking of working hard? We cannot have just a handout society. We must place our resources in the right places to end equality and inequity and to bring people forward. But one of the hallmarks of our people must be we are hardworking people. That has to be a principle that must be reestablished. Otherwise, all these things that we dream of, they cannot be achieved. And if anybody promise anybody that you can achieve these things without working hard, they are fooling you. And it's to the detriment of the country. But I believe when people work hard, there have to be certain basic accommodations or guarantees, education, healthcare, right to a peaceful society, water, energy, and so forth, housing. And so having a government built on good governance with a hard working people, elimination of inequity and inequality as far as possible, being innovative, empathetic, thoughtful, caring, that really give us the opportunity to attain the sustainable island state. If we reflect on Singapore, which was an abandoned island, and in quick order became an economic hub, we are starting in a better place than where they were. And they're not a big island, big like St. Lucia. When we think about Dubai, an area in a desert in 20 years has gone from here to there, an economic hub, new industries, innovation. We are at a better starting point than where they were. So how is it we like to just sit down and admire them, or we want to do that for ourselves? That is where I think we can improve as a people. And in achieving the sustainable island state, every citizen must play his or her part. so that we can become the first sustainable island state of the Caribbean. This is not beyond what we can do. We can achieve it, and we'll work towards it together. Madam Speaker, the workers in the public sector have also done a tremendous job of keeping the wheels of government turning, even under the additional weight of the COVID-19 response. And that is why it is justified for giving them a bonus for the Christmas. Because they work hard, they sacrificed a lot. And that is why we encourage other statutory bodies and businesses to really look out for your workers. And that is why today, as Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, I salute all the workers on behalf of our government. But I did not only want to salute in words, I also wanted to salute in tangible ways, and we did. I want to say thank you to all the civil servants. Thank you, who contributed specifically to this budget process. In particular, special thanks to the staff of the Ministry of Finance who have guided the process and completed a remarkable amount of work to produce the estimates, documents on time for the consideration of our National Assembly. Let me remind our people that this administration was elected only in August, and we had to put this together for this particular date, and we are on time. And that shows the tremendous amount of work and effort that were put in by the civil servants. Let's put our hands together for them. The Ministry of Finance, led by the Financial Secretary, Ms. Hazel, we want to thank them as well. And all those who played, she's right here, and all those, and I want to thank our staff as well, as I did before, and all those who played a critical role in making sure that we do this. Why did we spend so much nights working on this? I'm sure I called Ms. Hazel on Saturdays as well, taking up time. The members of the cabinet, we had retreat. We stayed late in cabinet till 10 o'clock in the night, working through this. We have regional partners coming to present to us so that when we present this, this is wholesome and doable, comprehensive, because we are serious about governance. Some people say, leave it, you have more time, you can have the extra 2 months, I think you spoke about, Madam Speaker. But we said, no, we can achieve it. Why? Because when we came to government, we came with a plan. We didn't come with figments of anyone's imaginations or unrealistic things to do. So when they challenge you, can you give the honorarium? I say yes. Can you give a dividend? I say yes. Because I said to this country, there was an economic team and these things were highly discussed. Highly discussed. When you're governing, sometimes you have to be flexible. But nothing that was discussed just because it should have been discussed. There was a thought behind it and a plan behind it to bring to the people. So that the people can see that when we spoke about the sustainable island state, we are serious people. And we will pursue it for the betterment of our people and the betterment of our country. Madam Speaker, we are aware that we cannot do the job of nation building alone, and so we are asking for the continued dedication as we work together to transform and innovate the way forward for our country. Madam Speaker, we are off to a good start. I will say an excellent start. And more good things are to come as we have a lot to accomplish in the coming years and over the next 5 years. We are therefore taking a no-nonsense approach to fulfilling our mandate given by our people. The 2023 estimates will help us to achieve some of our objectives and set the foundation for the full implementation of our plans over the succeeding 4 years. Madam Speaker, I am and will remain a humble servant of the people. It is important, Madam Speaker, that this team try and do all that must be done in order to achieve what we say to the people we are set out to achieve. I say to our people, as we go into the festive season, and Carnival is off to an excellent start. I was not here for the opening, but from all reports, I heard that the minister responsible for Carnival, with his team, they have done an excellent job. I myself had the opportunity to go to, what the thing by the square is called? In the Spirit of Christmas. I was invited and I obliged to dance. And what I found there, people in good spirit. I see they had a jam session that was incident-free. And I want to say kudos to the security forces and to those who have committed to peace, those on the alternative lifestyle program, for example. And so we're after a good start. And so the goal is, Madam Speaker, is that after 2 years of COVID, that we can have an enjoyable Carnival and a memorable Christmas. And so I wish all of our people well, and I'll have the opportunity on my wrap-up to express more. But with that, Madam Speaker, may it please you. Thank you very much.